All right, welcome back to this second part in our educational series where I walk through Turfile from A to Z. We'll try our best to keep this video as brief as possible, but all we're going to do is jump into the desktop version of Turfile and the mobile version of Turfile. We're going to explore how to navigate it and its general layout. So once you jump into the application, you know where you're going. So let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is jump into the desktop version of Turfile. So if you navigate to turfile.com, you're going to notice that in the top right corner, we have this login button. This is the entrance to Turfile. So if you give it a click, you're going to be brought to this page, prompting you to enter your credentials. Now, if you remember when you created your property for the first time, you did set up a password. That's the password that this page is looking for. And that will be the password that you use to log into the mobile app as well. So keep that in your back pocket. So I'm just going to enter in my credentials now. All right, once you have your credentials in, you can just click login. And then your property is loaded. So before we get rolling here, there is one thing that I would like to mention. This is a random golf club that's not affiliated with Turfile. I'm just going to use it for demo purposes. So one of my primary objectives when designing Turfile was to make it as user-friendly as I possibly could. So the first thing that you're going to notice when you jump into the platform is this top level navigation bar. Now, this allows you to jump into the different sections of Turfile. Okay. And as you do that, you're going to notice that this toolbar along the left-hand side is changing. Now, this is actually purposeful. So the idea is that whenever you're in any given section, all the tools that you need to manage that section are looking at you in the face. Okay. So if you're working on your irrigation system, these are essentially all the tools that you're going to need, right? If you're working in your bunker section, these are all the tools that you're going to need, okay? And so on and so forth. And this is the design structure that will persist into the foreseeable future. So as more sections get added, like drainage, etc., into Turfile, it's going to follow the same idea, okay? Now, there is one thing that is hidden in the Turfile platform, and that is the widget scroller on the right-hand side of the screen. So if you come over here to this arrow and click it, it's going to pop open some widgets. Now, these widgets change depending on the section that you're in and what they show, but generally speaking, it's just accessibility stuff and some map customization. So we'll dive into these features a little bit more in later videos. So the final component that you've probably noticed I haven't clicked on yet is up here next to the navigation bar. This is actually the property selector. So by design in Turfile, you can actually be a member of multiple different properties and switch between them whenever you want. So we'll get into that in later videos. But I mean, that's really it. There's not a whole lot to the interface. You have your sections, like I said, along the top. All of them support their own set of tools along the left, and you have some accessibility stuff inside the widget scroller. So really all there is now is to jump into each of these sections individually and run through how the tools actually work and how you can start using Turfile to its fullest ability. So now what I think we should do is jump into the mobile app. All right, so once you've downloaded and opened the mobile app, you're going to log in just the same way that you do to get into the desktop application. So I am going to click sign in. All right, so after going through the desktop version of Turfile, you're going to notice that the mobile version feels super intuitive, and that's because it's laid out almost the exact same way. So you remember how in the desktop version, at the top center of the screen, we had our navigation bar that allowed you to jump in between the different sections of Turfile? Well, we have the exact same thing in the mobile app. It's just the bottom left corner of the screen. So if you click on that bottom left button, it's going to open up all of the different sections that you have available to you. So home, irrigation, bunkers, and trees. Okay. So if you want to navigate to one, you just click on it. So if we can mentally jump back to the desktop version of Turfile one more time, you'll probably remember that there was a toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen that was changing every time we jumped in between each section. Now we have the exact same concept inside of the mobile version. So if you take a look down at the bottom of the screen to the right of our section selector, we have this scrollable toolbar. Now, currently, the mobile app does not have all of the tools that are available on the desktop version. However, most of them are here, and they look exactly the same way, and they function the exact same way. So again, once you learn what these tools do, it's going to be very easy to navigate the application and use it the way that it was intended. So hopefully that was crystal clear. For the remainder of our videos, we're going to spend most of our time inside of the desktop application, just because if you know how to use the desktop application, it's very easy to use the mobile application. Like I said, same tools, same feel, same layout. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for this second video in our educational series where I walk through Turfile from A to Z. In our next video, we're going to jump into the home section of Turfile, and we're going to run through all the tools that you have available to you. We'll see you in the next one.